Hey guys, so I saw Joker over the weekend and I thought it was pretty good, so I want to talk about it for a couple of minutes. Now, it's going to be spoiler free until I tell you that it's not. Now, from the get-go, I want to make it clear that I was not excited for this film when it was first announced. Mostly because there's a million other DC properties that aren't Batman that really deserve some love, and I didn't feel like we needed another Joker. Now, that being said, when the trailer dropped, I thought it actually looked pretty decent, and I'm happy to say that I really enjoyed the Joker, and I would very much recommend it to most people. Now, despite having a 2-hour runtime, this movie really doesn't feel that long because it's very well paced and really keeps itself going. It's also shot very well, with the lighting and the coloration particularly standing out to me. Gotham really feels like the dirty New York of the 1970s, and I think that that's a really good way to set this film. Now, part of the reason why I had a problem with this film when it was first announced was that we've seen the Joker a million times, and I felt like it would be very hard to show us a Joker that doesn't just feel like something we've seen before. But I think this film does a very good job of creating a new and compelling version of the Joker, unlike one we've ever seen before. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is now personally my favorite because it maintains the mystery and ambiguity while also being a fully developed character. I think what really sets this film apart from other superhero movies is that it really has a completely different type of audience. This is a much more adult and mature film than a lot of the MCU films. And that's not me ragging on the MCU, because I love the MCU. But this film will reach a completely different audience and will likely open up comic book audiences to new types of films. Now, before I end my non-spoiler section, I do want to go ahead and make it very clear that this film is very adult in theme and in action. It is uncomfortable at points, and it is graphic. So if that is something that you don't feel you can handle, I would not recommend you go see this film. But otherwise, I do think that it is a film worthy of viewing, and I do think it brings a lot to the table. Okay, now the spoilers are happening, so if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it ruined, go ahead and leave. This is your time to go. Get out. Now, I think that one of the best things that this film does is leaving a lot of ambiguity into the actual happenings during the film. The fact that we don't know how much of what his mother tells him is true is a good call. The fact that we don't know if Thomas Wayne is lying to him or not, that's a good call. And the fact that we only know that his relationship is fake back to a certain point, these are all really good ways of showing us that while we might empathize with Arthur, we can't trust what we've seen from his perspective. I also like that this film does a good job of showing off Gotham without it being distracting, that we see an increase in the trash of the city, an increase in the crime. We see Arkham City Hospital turn into Arkham Asylum. We even get to see a lot of Bruce Wayne because of Arthur's mom's relationship with Thomas Wayne. Even watching Martha and Thomas Wayne die again, which I was very annoyed at the idea of, is done so well by making the Joker indirectly responsible for it. Now, I do think that some people could find the treatment of mental illness in this a little problematic. However, personally, I think that the movie does a good job of distinguishing that the mental illness is not the reasoning why he does this, and that it's the mental illness that leads to his mistreatment, and the mistreatment is what causes the issues and why he does this. So while I personally don't have a problem, I could see where people could stand on that. Really, my only major grievance with this film was the choice of song on the stair scene seen in the trailers, because in the trailers it's a really well fit song and most of the soundtrack to this movie is really good, but the song that they play during the actual movie is very different and clashes with the tone. That's really my only major issue. But overall, I think that the Joker was pretty good, and I think that if you haven't seen it, and for some reason you're still watching this, you should go see it. So I'm giving Joker an 8 out of 10.